Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to isolate an element of the race that we might look back on later as having been a great path to finding the winner. 11 races at Sha Tin on Sunday, and the first one we're going to take a look at is race 6, and our winning factor here, the tempo. And I think there'll be arguments for a number of runners here, but ultimately I do think the market is going to zero in on 4 runners in particular. David Hayes trained Orr, dropping back to 1400 metres where he has won in the past. Free Foal, a last start winner who also comes back in distance. Joao Moreira's ride Super Mission, and of course Zach Purton's mount Pleclone. But I've made the winning factor the tempo here. It is really crucial, and I thought first of all we should probably take a look at the map, and as a result of this map I'm dropping Orr out of our chances because there is no speed in the race. Orr comes from a diet of 1800 metre races lately. He doesn't have a lot of early speed anyway, and he has a draw that isn't going to let him be any closer than midfield, and I think he'll be behind all of his main opposition runners, Super Mission, Pleclone and Free Foal, who are all likely to be in the advance party. And I think the best of those could be Pleclone and Free Foal. So let's take a look at their latest offerings. And this is race 694. This is Free Foal breaking through for his first win. This is 1600 metres, and in the blue and grey colours he pushes forward but never really gets in, never manages to get in closer than 3 wide outside the leaders. But the heat map is a very important tool here, as we see little pressure in the first half of the race. All blue, the heat maps there, and the race just became a 400 metre sprint down the straight. So being wide, not so much of a disadvantage under these circumstances. In fact, it can even be an advantage in this scenario because Free Foal is out in the open, able to stride comfortably and make his move whenever he liked. And then there's Pleclone's latest run, and this wasn't a win, but it was a defeat with plenty of merit. This is race 710, and he's in black colours, gate 1. He jumps okay for Matthew Poon, and the jockey has him trailing a speed that wasn't that quick early, but wasn't that slow either. And he even has to check off heels briefly after the 900 metres as the pace slows momentarily. And then we see him in that spot to the home turn on the inside. He has a few traffic problems after turning into the stretch, but when he gets clear, he runs on very well. Not that he would have beaten the winner by any means who trotted up, but he does handle the rest pretty well and gets into second over the final stages. And on Sunday, it's champion jockey Zach Purton who takes over the reins, and I thought that would be a good opportunity for us to take a look this late in the season at the partnerships that have proved the most profitable for Purton with trainers over the current season. And we'll take a look at this table here, and you'll see that his best partner has been Danny Shum, a whopping 29 winners for Danny Shum this season. But he also has a similar strike rate for Pleclone's trainer David Hall from a lot fewer rides, and theirs is a fruitful partnership going back any number of seasons. So the tip in race 6, Pleclone. His winning factor, the tempo. As we saw on the map, the setup of this race is going to make it difficult for horses to run on from back in the field. Pleclone is usually somewhere near the speed and therefore has the tools to win the race, but he also has that deadly Zach Purton, David Hall partnership working for him. The other race I want to examine is race 11, and our winning factor here, the weights. And a key point here is how the real chances are divided up in the field. Up the top of the weights, in fact, saddle cloths 1, 2, 3, 4, we have Beauty Fit and All for St Paul's, who recently fought a similar race out. California 10 is getting near his first Hong Kong win, and Sirius Liaison, who has really found his form since a recent stable change to Casper Founds. While down at the bottom of the weights, we have Ultra Express for Joao Moreira and Tony Millard. And what's interesting about that is that we have the 4 top weights basically versus the bottom weight, and a minimum weight difference between Ultra Express and the ones up the top of £13, and that's because he's coming up into Class 3 from Class 4, where he was a smart winner at his latest run. And we're going to take a look at that now. This is race 636. He's in green and white colours from gate 1. Not the best to begin, which has been a little issue with him, but Moreira gets busy, rides him along, and manages to hold a place in midfield through a second section here that was quite sharp and does soften up the ones on the front, but also keeps Ultra Express chasing under his top weight. Now he gets plenty of favours in the run as a result of gate 1. He doesn't go around a horse until he comes around the leader in the home straight, but he gets balanced up, he shoots away and gets the job done with some authority. Now 2 weeks later, the two horses I think are his strongest opposition here fought out a race in this same Class 3 over 1600 metres. And this is race 678, and we see a different style of race to the one we've just watched, with All for St Paul's here in the blue dictating the tempo, and Beauty Fit in midfield in pink and black colours. And All for St Paul's, he's a very honest horse in this situation when he isn't pressured early, and he can dictate the pace, and he doesn't actually sprint that quickly when he goes for home, but he does find a kick and keeps fighting. And Beauty Fit, well, he shows some really good acceleration here, considering the way this race was run, to get him out of midfield, up to challenge the leader, and after a bit of a battle over the final 100 metres, he gets to the front with 60 metres to go, and they came away from the others. Now, critically for All for St Paul's on Sunday, he gets to see his old mate Beauty Day again. And we'll take a look at the map, and the reason I say he's an old mate is because they both like to lead, and they met in a race in April, a race which was won by Serious Liaison in fact, and it was Beauty Day who took the lead from All for St Paul's and made sure things were not quite that easy for him, and I think that will happen on Sunday too, and that certainly makes it a little bit harder for All for St Paul's. It also gives an edge to horses finishing off like Beauty Fit and Ultra Express. Now that map for Ultra Express going from gate 1 to gate 11 has a little bit of an edge to it, because as we've seen, he isn't the best of beginners. But there is a pace gap across in midfield, you can see there on the map, and perhaps I think Moreira will come out a little bit busy again on Ultra Express and looking to get over into that space. And that's where the lightweight comes in, dropping from 133 pounds last time to 117 this time. Means that he can have a little bit more use made of him, Ultra Express, and still have some energy for the finish. Now, I could easily have made him a horse rising in grade off a win, because that's one of our factors that we often use, and I thought it may be an opportune moment to drop in on that factor and just take a look at how it's been performing this season. We like to look at these things from time to time to see if they're still holding up, and it certainly is that. You look at the graphic here, once again this season, horses rising in grade have been a profitable angle to follow, with a strike rate twice that of the horse dropping in class, and still well ahead of market expectations when we look at the results vis-a-vis the odds. So the tip in race 11, Ultra Express, his winning factor, the weights. Now, as I said, I could have made him an up-in-class winning factor, but I think specifically to this race, we see his main opposition with the 4 top weights in the race. He has the bottom weight, and I think that's really critical to the outcome. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.